アルバム「ダイバーダウン」のリリース後、エディ・バンヘイレンはエンジニアドン・ランディの助けを借りて自宅ガレージにスタジオを作った。
After Ed had the studio together up there, he wanted to perform up there, record up there, and Don had put it together, and so we started recording up there, and we didn't have all the, there's certain things about a recording studio where you have to do something, but if you're at your own house, it's not the same. You go in and get a cup of coffee for the kitchen or whatever, it used to be a garage, I think, where the studio was built, and then there was the house.
I actually wrote it on a Prophet 10, and every time I got the sound I wanted, the thing would start smoking. So I got rid of that one, bought an Oberheim OBXA, and that sound actually did not exist. We made that sound popular. And then all synthesizers after Jump came out came with that sound in it.
I went up there one day to Ed's house, and he'd been up for 2 or 3 nights working on something, and Don had been in there. And he played this, they had laid down a track with Al and Ed, and then I think he overdubbed a bass with it too, and played it for me. And it was, boom, it was perfect. So that was a pretty big thing, and I remember exactly how it went down, because that whole keyboard thing was just what it was.
The key to the song Jump is the keyboard. Keyboards bring so much life to an instrument. What most people don't know is that all those famous Chuck Berry songs, you think that's quintessential rock and roll, was not written on the guitar. Surprise, Rocky. Really, it was written on a keyboard by a gentleman who played in his band throughout the entire career. And that's why every Chuck Berry song has a little dynamic flavor that's a little bit different. The guitar came second. It was written on the keyboards. So the changes are more sophisticated. And again, you have sweet and sour, happy and sad. We as human beings are never just happy or just sad. We're both. It's only in comic books that you will see one character who's only happy and only sad, and we call that one speed. We know actors who do that. We know musicians, for example, who do that. And in Van Halen, we were trained to embrace both. The sweet and the sour.
I'm never aware of, if you ask me where the riff Jump came from, I just happened to be very much into playing keyboards at the time. So because I was playing so much piano and keyboards, I wrote, somehow a keyboard song came through me. Where it came from, some experience. I remember, if it was getting my ass kicked down the street or girlfriend breaking up with me or a bad hot dog or what. But I'm sure it had something to do with some experience that came. The filters, we're all filters, or sponges. You soak stuff up, you squeeze it out, whatever comes out. It happened to be Jump that time.
Jump, if I remember correctly, which I probably don't, but it was actually recorded on the first or second take was the record version. And
Yes.
then you spend another 100 takes to justify why it was so easy to record in one time.
Right.
And that goes to demonstrate how people really get in the way of the creative process. Your own ego wants to be in there and justify why it's so good. When, a lot of stuff, it doesn't happen mysteriously.
A lot of people feel guilty about being able to do it, and they start to poison themselves.
Bingo.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
From all reports, they did the song basically in one take, the keyboard part, with the whole band playing in the recording studio. And Eddie told me in an interview later that they were biting their nails because the song came right at the end of the tape reel. And just as they ended the song, the tape ran out. So they were happy that they played it perfectly. And he said even at the very end of the song, in the mix of the song, they had to be really careful with the fade out of it to make sure that it completely disappeared before the tape ran out.
So Dave came up, I said, Dave, write some lyrics. So I'll never forget this. He said, okay. So he took his clipboard like this, and he had a Mercury convertible, a red Mercury convertible, a 49 or a 50, and he had the top down. He sat in the back, put his feet up on the front seat, and he just started writing like this. He says, what do you think of this? He said, Jump, all this stuff. I know, oh, shit. I said, no, that sounds like somebody's going to commit suicide, jump out of a window. And he said, no. what he means take a chance, go for it, jump. And I said, okay, you know, I wasn't, and then they went in and they just, he knocked it down, that was it.